recording. Hello. Welcome to DevKami Shorts. This is the segment I promised to do since forever, so I finally do it. So let me show you my latest toy. So this is the OpenCVI kit. It does not come with the leg. Actually, I just found this tripod and reuse it. What they actually comes with is just a camera. It doesn't even comes with the USB. So the bumper is actually something that I ordered extra, which on hindsight a bit useless. I don't know, maybe I just put it on the robot and see how it goes. So what is this thing? So this thing is what you call a depth camera. You also can run neural network on it, so you can have your customly trained neural network for identifying object and use it on this camera on board, so you don't have to put on a webcam and a Raspberry Pi to run it. And unlike Raspberry Pi, this thing actually had a dedicated processor for image processing, image running neural network. So specifically this is actually the Myriad X by Intel. Actually it's not Intel, it's Movidius, owned by Intel. So what this does is, what they mean by depth camera, this thing can sense depth, with onboard software and two of the cameras. Give me a while, this thing got loose. So notice the two camera here. This is actually the depth camera on left and right. So in a way that with this it's actually similar to with how we humans use two of our eyes to actually sense depth. Same idea. Then the middle camera is the one that actually do the image processing. So yeah, let me show you the specification. Ta-da. I wonder, give me a while. Kickstarter. So this the OAK stands for OpenCV AI Kit. So it means that you can run some association with OpenCV, but not by much. So let's go to the spec. So the first thing you need to know here is you can run neural inference, so you can do your deep learning train image processing algorithm. So for example, mostly image detection and whatnot. So for example, the query detection thing that I want to do forever, it can do object tracking because they had a stereo camera for you to detect things. It can do 3D track object against because they have a stereo camera to detect depth. It can do 3D object localization where the object is. It can do video encoding, so you can actually use this to record video, post estimation, etc. It's pretty cool actually. It had a 4K camera, that's the middle one. Then there's a stereo pair. So unlike things like the Kinect, so Kinect is what earliest stereo camera now, they actually not had two infrared sensor. So instead of it's an infrared camera, I think, that detect depth. So this one does not use infrared. They just use two stereo camera and onboard software to actually do detection. So but it's pretty good, as you see later. Then there is a processor. This is actually the Myriad X. It's actually here VPU by Movidius. So what you can do with this means is that you can use OpenVINO by Intel. So you had your machine learning model you train on, let's say on YOLO, or maybe on TensorFlow-Lite, or TensorFlow. So what you do is you convert it using to OpenVINO, then they convert it into a blob that this specific processor can use. And once you have this, then you can actually use this and do your training on board, right? So, and why you want this? You can use Raspberry Pi, but Raspberry Pi is not fast. They don't have a dedicated processor for this. This one is dedicated, so you can actually put this on your drones if it had a USB port on it, or put it on your Raspberry Pi control robot realistically. So from there you can do your detection and whatnot, right? So this specific device I use is I get a fixed focus one, it's an autofocus one, and the reason is I intend to put this on something that move. What, I do not know, the idea now is between my dog to find out what they found, or actually build a robot. I don't have a strong idea yet, but because I intend to actually put out something that actually move, so I get the fixed focus one, because fixed focus one, they actually had a very bad effect when for autofocus, that it doesn't work well on vibration, on heavy movement. But autofocus had you can actually focus closer with autofocus. So that's the price we pay then. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it. And also it takes like 4 watts and 4.5 watt at most. So it's one reason why you want to use this on your computer, right? So what else? Here. So of course there is a demo they already set up. As you can see, they use a Movilis Myriad X. It's primarily using Python because that's the tools of the neural network research now. So it is what it is, not my call. Then you can, of course, as you can see here, you can convert your models. You need to convert your models into OpenVideo before to generate a blob file before you can upload it to the bot. They have a lot of zoo, but more on that later. Then I think that's about it. You have to in short, you cannot just use your TensorFlow model or your YOLO model. You have to convert it, but the tools is available. And yes, of course you can actually use pre-trained model. What do you mean? More on that. So you see here, open model zoo. It's still here. So this is actually existing models that you can use. So for example, you would care about efficient. All these are object detection model. This is segmentation, image segmentation to detect objects. So all these are models that you use, and human pose. So yeah, there's models that available you can already use, which is make things very interesting. So let's go to the next thing. The next thing here is actually demo. So you can when you can see here, this is actually the demo program. I will not cover setup. I will put the setup in the description later. You can see this runs on MobileNet SSD. So this is actually a very well-known model. Of course, if you look at here, there's a lot of other models. Custom model is what you develop. I do not have any yet, so maybe in the future. You can do post estimation. If there is a body, you can see a body. Actually, I do, but give me a moment. Apply and start. Apply and restart. Here you are. So notice that this little guy actually can detect the model. Let me hold this better. So yeah, you can see that they can detect poses. I don't want to move around, to be honest, so I'm going to whoop. Can it detect you? Yeah, much better. Maybe I should put it around on let me put it. I'm sorry to move the camera around, my bad, but so yeah, human pose estimation, then a tiny YOLO, apply restart. Then it take a while for them to do their thing, and ta-da! It didn't detect me, but tiny YOLO is not always good. It's not as good, which is why there is a newer YOLO model. But that being said, it's a very popular model. So the best one for me now is mobile net SSD. We're going to take a while to reboot. But here's another thing I want to show you about later. Yeah, they detect me as a person. But that's not the cool thing. The cool thing here is, oh, it's hot. Goodness gracious, it's hot. So this is color camera. They do onboard conversion to convert into a person. But this is not the cool thing. The cool thing here is depth. So notice that this thing here, the hottest thing here, is actually my hand. It starts with my hand. Then a microphone, me. So this is actually how they actually detect the depth of a person and do object tracking. If you use RAW, you can't really see much. A lot harder to see. But with some onboard processing, you can see it a lot better on what is the closest thing around. So for example, my hand is the closest thing. It's confused a bit, but it is what it is. And then you can see the left camera, right camera. So this is essentially how it works. Oh my goodness, I can't control my nose. My bad. Then you can see here you have actually various settings you can do. You see here, this is actually what they mean. So what they actually do is they're using two camera and do pixel compilation. Then from there they detect what is the closest thing and what is the closest and furthest thing. Maybe I'll show you the algorithm later. So with that said, how much is this thing? I don't know. It's not for sale yet. I get it from Kickstarter. I actually get this from Kickstarter. So this one, I get this. I get like 89 US dollar, which is pretty expensive, but you know, it's something that I like. So yeah. So yeah, it's 600 plus ringgit, which is pretty expensive. So I'm not sure if I want to put this on a robot outside. Maybe, I don't know yet. So yeah, so this is the OAKD-Lite. So this is the OAKD-Lite, and maybe I'll show more in the future. Or maybe if you guys happen to be as crazy as me getting one, I want to know. So with that said, thanks for indulging. This Swimming signing off.